So the advantage I had was that I had lived through it, but the disadvantage was that, you know, you're sort of reliving pretty traumatic memories.
Action! 5 on the set.
It was such a personal story, and it was about so many things that are important to me that I felt like this really had to be a movie. And Emily didn't just have like notes on it, she had like a whole other perspective on it. So then I was like, I think we should write it together, but she still wasn't sure she wanted to do it.
Kumail met with Judd Apatow, and Judd was asking me if he had movie ideas, and Kumail gave him a bunch of terrible ideas and then said, this real thing happened to us, and Judd was like, that's clearly the movie. I was unsure about it at first. It's a very vulnerable story.
When I was first cast, the thought of playing a real person is, of course, like very appetizing for any actor. And then I met Emily, and she was already so much like me. I actually tried to kind of like bring more of myself to it than I had planned originally.
We had a real intense and productive rehearsal period for this movie, which is a little unusual. We'd talked about the scenes and examined them and changed them and switched stuff around and thrown stuff out and put new stuff in.
I kind of invented how he got to meet Holly, how Holly and him ended up together, these two people from different parts of the country, and you know, it was with Holly Hunter, so sometimes you just gotta be in her vortex and and you'll feel it.
You know, you watch movies and it's easy to start thinking like, this is what movies are about, this is what movies aren't about, this is how movies do things, this is how they, but working on this, as long as it feels right, that it's something that you can, that can be a movie.
I think all the time about how vulnerable they were with like putting this story into the world and how much generosity that entailed. And I also was astonished by how generous they were letting other people's voices into the project.
As long as they still felt emotionally true to us, we felt like free to play and kind of create new scenarios that these characters could be in. Kumail and I differ. I think it's 60% true. He thinks it's 65% true. Who knows?
It was about this love between these two people and how that love affected this small community. But I think there were so many other kind of byproducts of the movie that were invaluable.
How love kind of transcends anything, any cultural difference. It's the universal strength and connection between all of us, no matter where you're from, or what's your background, or what you've been through. That sounds, you know, it sounds good, but I'm really not saying much.